Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be covering the security route tool. Now, in this tool, there's two potential flight paths that can be generated, a random route or perimeter route. You'll see the difference between those two here shortly. Essentially, you'll see some of the similar tool sets that we've seen in the other features, such as the ability to move, zoom in, and click around a map, essentially. This will be good for setting your takeoff and landing location. You can also just input the takeoff and landing location coordinates if you have a GPS data point for your takeoff and landing zone that you've already pre-selected. That is perfectly fine as well. Now, for this, you will need to have a polygon KML file. Now, that is something that is generated in Google Earth that you can create the polygon for, export the polygon as a KML, and then import it into this tool. I already have that done, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this through, understanding that I've already done what I needed to do in Google Earth. In this situation, we're going to be covering the Bethlehem City Center area and a security flight route. There's two flight routes that will generate a random route and a perimeter route. So first, let's go ahead and load the KML file. In this case, I'll select the security area KML, which the coordinates will show up here. And I will set an altitude above terrain, and also considering the elevation of our buildings, we'll set it to 100 feet. Number of waypoints, we'll keep it at 10 for now, but you can always increase it to increase the number of random generated waypoints. Actually, I lied. Let's go ahead and show 30. And then takeoff and landing coordinates. The aircraft is set pretty much center of the plaza. We'll Control C, Control V, and then we'll ask it to generate the flight plan. Now, if you need any help or assistance understanding how to use this tool, you can go ahead and hit that help tool. It'll display the instructions for this specific tool. Just go ahead and generate the flight plan. Now, it does take some time to generate. You will see that progress bar as it goes through the flight plan generation. It is checking the terrain elevation at each waypoint location that is randomly generated before it outputs it to the .plan file. Once this is done loading, you'll be asked to save it, just like any other tool. All right, so you may notice a difference here, JSON file. That's because the random generation and the perimeter generation has a different substructure to it for matching the coordinates and then offsetting them as a geofence from the KML file. So we'll see here real quick. Let's go ahead and say security, but then I'm going to save it as .plan. So we'll go ahead and save. We'll open up QGround control. We'll go ahead and open up that flight plan we saved. We may need to select all files. It looks like we have security.plan. Go ahead and open. We'll give it some time to load, as it may need to interpolate the data from the .plan file. In here, we'll see the outline. The geofence is essentially matching that of the KML coordinates, and all of the waypoints inside that are randomly placed but still inside of the geofence is a random pattern. Now, you're probably wondering, what the heck is the use of this tool? Well, the general use of it is that so that if you have someone that, one, you're able to keep eyes all over the area that you want to do security for, but at the same time, if you don't want individuals that may be studying the target or studying the place you're providing security for to understand flight patterns of the aircraft and make it seem like it's being manually controlled instead of automated controlled in a random path set, well, this would be the tool to use. Now, of course, you can decide if you want to do perimeter as well, which could be a more standardized covering the perimeter flight route, but this also helps you cover the entire area for an autonomous flight while also making it seem to external personnel a random method of flight. And they can't necessarily time or track an opening in the security for Overwatch. All right, so all of this again is generated above terrain elevation. At this point, it's relative to launch. and so it's set. Now, one thing you may need to do is double check that last waypoint, and you can set it as a return to launch waypoint. So once it reaches 30, the aircraft will fly back and land at the takeoff location. All right, and that is all for the security video tool.